Sarah, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm Michael. Well, it's good to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
And were you able to go through all of the HIPAA information and confidentiality information that I gave, that the secretary here gave you?
Yeah, my mom read it to me.
Okay. I just want to highlight a couple of things. Remember, everything that you say here that we discuss is confidential information, and I will not be sharing it with your mom or anybody else. And the only times that I have to break that confidentiality is if I'm worried about suicidal ideation or homicidal ideation, or in extreme circumstances if there was a court order for me to release our notice here. But until then, everything that we talk about is confidential. Okay?
Okay.
Alright. So, Sarah, in your own words, can you tell me why you're here?
I'm here because my mom thinks I have an eating disorder. I like food and I don't want to get fat, so I just work out every day for a couple hours up to several hours a day. And then sometimes I take like pills that kind of help with the water weight because I just don't want to be fat. Fat people are gross.
Okay. When you say that you work out a couple of hours to several hours a day, how many hours would you say that would be if you had to put a number to it?
It ranges. I would say a minimum of 2, but I worked out for up to 5 hours in the day before.
What would you say is typical in a given week?
Probably about 3 hours.
Okay. And how often per week do you work out this heavily?
Some days I do it every single day of the week, but on average, I guess it's like 5 days out of the week.
Well, you mentioned also that you've taken pills.
Yeah, you know those water pills? I think they're called diuretics, but I take those because, every time I get on the scale and I just want to drop a couple pounds and I can't go work out, sometimes if I take these pills, it brings my weight down the next morning, so.
How often would you be taking pills then?
Oh, I take them every day.
Every day? Okay. Now you said that you really like food, but you think that fat people are disgusting.
Yes.
So, how much food would you say that you eat beyond being full?
Yeah, for sure. Like I love sweets, so I can eat like a carton of ice cream, a box of cookies, a bag of chips, a couple sandwiches. And then I just feel disgusting and bloated, and then I have to go work out either later that day or that next morning. Yeah, but usually, my stomach hurts pretty badly because I've eaten too much.
Can you describe to me what a typical meal would look like for you? Typical, let's say, breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Well, if I'm eating around people, I can eat like a normal amount like everybody else. So if I'm eating with my family, I'll have like a bowl of cereal, an orange, and some toast. And same with lunch, it can be like a salad and a sandwich. And dinner's pretty typical, but when I'm by myself, that's kind of when I just eat a lot more food than I would in front of people.
Okay. And is there any particular reason why you eat more by yourself than when you're around people?
Because I'm embarrassed about it. I don't want people to see me eating that much because then they'll think that I'm fat and I'm gross because I'm eating so much food. And I don't want people to think badly of me.
Okay. So, typical meal, let's say, when you are by yourself and eating a lot. How would you say that you describe that for me?
I guess it kind of varies, but I mean, my favorites, like I said, like I can put away a whole box of cookies by myself. Like I could eat like a couple sandwiches, like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, a whole bag of chips. I could eat that by myself, no problem. A carton of ice cream, and then I'll usually have like soda, maybe a few cans of soda. That's about average, but sometimes I can eat even more than that, and it takes me up to 2 hours to finish all the food that I've gotten from the kitchen or that I buy from the stores when I'm by myself. I guess binging is what my mom calls it.
Okay. So 2 hours for a meal, and then the next day, or even later on that day, depending, you'll go work out for an average of 3 hours.
Yes.
Sounds about right.
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell me, has this affected your home life other than your mother thinking that you have a problem?
Yeah, I don't feel like I can talk to her because I feel like she doesn't understand. My mom's somebody who's naturally thin, and I don't feel like she has to work at it as hard as I do. And then my dad, he's completely clueless. He doesn't know what's going on anyways. But I have noticed that my younger sister has started doing similar things that I do, and that concerns me because I don't like this. I don't want this for her, but at the same time, I can't control it.
And so, why wouldn't you want that for your younger sister?
Because it's awful. I mean, I'm miserable most of the time. You know, like even after I've worked out, I still don't feel good enough. Like, you know, if I have to go to school or if I have to be somewhere, then I just feel like my workouts are cut short. But I mean, if I don't have to be somewhere, that's why I'll work out for 5 hours because I just feel like 2 or 3 hours isn't enough. And sometimes I feel the only way to feel better is if I just keep working out. I feel like that's the only time I get any kind of relief is when I'm working out.
Okay. But in general, you do feel like you're pretty miserable.
Yeah.
Okay. With people who tend to have binging pattern of both eating and working out, sometimes that can come along with feelings of, reduced feelings of self-worth or self-esteem. Would you say that this applies to you as well?
Like feelings of not being good enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that I think that about myself. That I mean, maybe if I was better in something, I could feel good about myself, but I don't like who I am. And especially, you know, when I'm binge eating, as my mom says, and I just feel even worse about myself. So, I mean, overall, I'm just not happy.
Okay. And you did mention before that you're embarrassed and that you don't want this for your younger sister as well, and that generally you're not happy with your behavior. You feel like you're not good enough. That sounds about right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, what I want to know is, are there times when you do feel happy or you do feel like you are good enough?
Sometimes when I'm hanging with my best friend, you know, like I feel like I'll have moments of peace where I'm not thinking about my weight or how I look. But I feel like they're short lived because once we're around like boys from the high school, then it's just, you know, I just feel insecure about myself, and then it makes me think about my weight and my body. But again, the only time I think I feel somewhat comfortable is when I'm hanging out with my best friend.
And when you say that you feel self-conscious about your weight and your body, and you feel not good enough, all of this is in comparison to a standard or an ideal. Am I correct?
Yes. because I mean I feel like for women to be attractive they have to be like a size 2.
And what size are you now?
I'm an 8.